since left for the summer break, but I decided to stay. Our apartment complex for law students feels completely dead right now. Just me, tons of textbooks, and a ringing, oppressive silence. The bar exam is coming up soon. I need to focus. A couple of days into this isolation, I start noticing weird things. At first, it's just little things. I clearly remember leaving my yellow highlighter on my criminal law notes, but I find it on the kitchen table. Then my mug. I washed it last night, but in the morning the handle is facing the other way. I look at myself in the mirror, see the dark circles under my eyes, and sigh heavily. I tell myself out loud that I'm just overworked, that I sleep 4 hours a night, and that's why I forget where I put things. But this strange feeling just won't go away. You know that feeling when you sense someone is in the room right behind your back. The air gets heavy, sticky. I'm constantly looking over my shoulder. Yesterday, I stood in front of my locked front door for 10 minutes. I held my breath and just listened. No sounds. The locks are intact. No signs of a break-in. But the anxiety has settled somewhere under my ribs and refuses to leave. The only person I occasionally run into outside is my neighbor Stephen, from apartment number 4. We went to school together. He's very strange. He always walks alone. The blinds in his windows are always tightly shut. Recently, we bumped into each other in the parking lot. I tried to be polite, smiled, asked about his studies, but he looked at me like he was looking right through my skin. His gaze was heavy and empty. I hurried away. June 25th, late at night, the silence is crushing my ears. I'm sitting in front of my laptop, nervously typing on the keys. I'm writing an email to David, my boyfriend. I tell him that I think I'm going crazy, that I can't prove it, but I feel like someone is coming into my apartment. While I'm out or while I'm sleeping, things are out of place. I'm afraid to fall asleep, David replies almost immediately, trying to calm me down. He writes that it's just stress, that I study too much and don't go outside. He's probably right. Who would want a broke college student in a gated complex? I text my friends in our group chat that I'm going to cram and will be off the radar for a couple of days. I close my laptop. I turn off the light. And at that moment, I catch a movement outside my window. My apartment is on the 2nd floor. The blinds are drawn, but the dim light from a street lamp peeks through the cracks. And right there, behind the glass, level with my window, something flashes, like a glass eye, a camera lens. I freeze and try not to even breathe. There's no silhouette, just darkness. I nervously swallow the lump in my throat and force myself to believe it's just a glare, that it's the headlights of a distant car. I force myself to get into bed and pull up the covers. I need to study tomorrow night. I don't know what time it is. I wake up because the air in the bedroom has changed. There's a sharp smell. It smells like the street and someone else's sweat. I don't open my eyes right away, hoping it's sleep paralysis. But I feel a stranger's presence right above me, by my bed. I snap my eyes open. In the dark, a massive male silhouette looms over me, dressed all in black, wearing a mask. I don't even have time to scream. I don't have time to throw off the blanket. He lunges at me, and his heavy, cold hands close around my throat. I hit him, scratch him, try to throw him off me onto the floor. There's not enough air. My lungs are burning. In a panic, I claw at his face and tear off the mask. The dim light light from the window falls on his features. Stephen, my quiet neighbor. Stephen, who always has his blinds closed. I gasp his name, try to push him away, tears streaming down my cheeks. I beg him to stop, but I look into his eyes and see nothing but absolute, icy emptiness. He doesn't say a word. He just squeezes his fingers tighter. The edges of the room start to go dark. My arms grow weak and fall to the floor. The last thing I realize, before everything disappears forever, I wasn't going crazy. He was always here. Part 2, through the eyes of the killer. They all think I'm weird and awkward. I sit in my dark apartment, the blinds tightly shut. The light hurts my eyes. People annoy me. In law school, I was always the smartest guy in the room, but those hacks didn't want to admit it. I have no friends, no plans. I'm just drifting in this gray mass, but Lauren, she's different. She lives right next door in apartment number 2. She always says hi. She smiles at me in the parking lot. She gives me the attention I deserve. I sit in front of my computer monitor for hours, studying perfect murders. My fingers mechanically type in searches about torture, about how to get rid of evidence. And then I take a long wooden stick. I tightly tape a video camera to it. I go out into the dark courtyard, raise this contraption to her second floor window, and I watch. I watch how she lives, peeking through the slits in her blinds. I control her. I know when she sleeps. I know where her things are. I have a master key for every door in this building. I enter her world whenever I want, and there is nothing she can do about it. 4:30 in the morning. I stand by her bed. I'm wearing black clothes, a mask, and gloves. I just watch her breathe. There's a certain kind of power in this, but suddenly she wakes up. Her eyes widen in terror. She flinches, and I have to act. I lunge at her, my hands closing around her neck. She fights back, scratches like a wild cat. She manages to rip the mask off me. She screams my name, cries, begs, and I feel absolutely nothing. No pity, no fear, only cold calculation. This is my experiment, my triumph. I hold her for 15 minutes until she goes quiet forever, and the next evening I come back with a hacksaw. Methodically, like a butcher, I do what I plan and hide the remains in the dumpster outside the building. The perfect crime of a genius. A few days later, I stand in the courtyard. There are police, yellow tape, TV cameras everywhere. I give interviews to reporters, playing the role of a concerned neighbor. I am in control of the situation. A reporter asks me about the parking lot. He says the police just found a body in a dumpster over there. My legs suddenly turn to jelly. My head starts ringing. How did they find it? The garbage truck was supposed to take everything away. This is a mistake. I sink to the ground. My perfect plan is collapsing right before my eyes. The interrogation room. Gray walls. Detectives walk around me, asking questions, trying to get an emotional reaction. But I just freeze. I turn into a statue. I sit absolutely motionless for hours, barely moving my head. I only answer yes, no, I don't know. I try to hide inside my own head, but I know they are already searching my apartment. They will find the video. They will find the key. They will find the bloody packaging from the saw. They are backing me into a corner. Years have passed. I wake up to the clang of an iron door. The concrete walls of the cell press in from all sides. It's cold here, and it smells like bleach and despair. My life life is now measured by the bars on the windows and rare walks in the prison yard. Everyone has turned their backs on me. My father set up a website to raise money for new lawyers, but no one in this world donated a single dollar to me. Not a cent. Every day I sit at the metal table and write new appeals. I complain about the judges, the police, my former defense attorneys. I demand compensation. I scream at the paper that my rights have been violated, but my letters just fly into the void. They are rejected one by one. I thought I was an unrecognized genius, that I was the master of fate. And now I realize that I am just a number in the prison system, a pathetic, broken man who will rot in this cage until 2041. And the most terrible punishment is not these concrete walls. The most terrible punishment is being left alone with my own mind every single night, knowing that I destroyed not only her life, but ground my own into dust. And I will never, ever get out of here.
Stop. Freeze for a second. Listen to your emotions right now. When you were listening to the end of this story about a lonely man in a cold cell, about how nobody donated a single cent to him, did you catch yourself feeling a fleeting sense of pity for him? If so, congratulations, you just fell into a classic psychological trap. Our brains, as empathetic and healthy people, are hardwired to feel compassion. We see a rejected, broken person, and our savior instinct kicks in. In criminal psychology, an extreme form of this phenomenon is called hybristophilia. This is when people develop an inexplicable attraction or sympathy towards dangerous criminals, a desire to understand them, to justify them with a difficult childhood or illness, and even to save them. But let's take off the rose-colored glasses and look at reality without the romanticization. Stephen McDaniel is not a victim of the system and not a martyr. He didn't commit this crime in a state of passion or insanity. Psychiatric evaluations found him sane and competent to stand trial. Experts noted his strong traits of narcissism, self-obsession, and a complete lack of empathy. This is the classic profile of a cold psychopath. Every single action he took was deliberate. He didn't randomly find a master key. He didn't randomly tape a camera to a stick. He purposefully bought a hacksaw. He methodically covered his tracks. He gave interviews on camera, reveling in his perceived impunity and power over the situation. His tears in court and his endless appeals, that's not remorse for taking Lauren's life. It is pity exclusively for himself, for the fact that his perfect plan failed. He had a choice, and he made it willingly. And now, to make the picture absolutely complete, here are the dry facts of this case. No emotions, no immersion, just what remains in the police reports. Victim: Lauren Giddings, 27 years old, a recent graduate of Mercer University's law school. Perpetrator: Stephen McDaniel, 25 years old, Lauren's classmate and neighbor. Date of the crime: June 26, 2011. Location: Macon, Georgia, USA. A residential complex for law students. Investigation details: after Lauren's disappearance, police found no signs of forced entry, but discovered traces of blood in her bathroom using luminol. A pure coincidence played a key role in his capture. Police cars blocked the entrance for the garbage truck. Thanks to this, investigators managed to find the victim's remains in the dumpster before they were hauled off to the landfill. Stephen McDaniel drew attention to himself with his bizarre behavior during a TV interview and during interrogation. Inside his apartment, police found a master key to all doors in the complex, the packaging from a saw with the victim's blood on it, and deleted files from his video camera. The footage showed him watching Lauren through the window of her apartment for hours. Court outcome. Realizing the weight of the evidence against him, Stephen McDaniel took a plea deal in April 2014 and confessed to the murder. In a bitter irony, he avoided the death penalty only because Lauren herself had been a staunch opponent of capital punishment during her life, and her family asked the court to respect her views. McDaniel was sentenced to life in prison. He will not be eligible for parole until at least 2041. All of his attempts to appeal the sentence have so far been denied. You are on the Victim Path channel. Our path is an attempt to understand the darkness without becoming a part of it. If you like this immersive format, from a first-person perspective with a psychological breakdown and dry facts, make sure to support this video with a subscribe and a like. Type the code word TRUE in the comments if you watch this video all the way to the end. For me, that's the best indicator that we are making quality content. And I really ask you, pay attention. If you notice any inconsistencies or want to add to the story, Write in the comments, we read everything and strive for maximum accuracy. Also, suggest cases and stories that you would like to experience and break down with us in future episodes. Take care of yourselves, trust your intuition, and remember, sometimes monsters don't hide under the bed, they live right next door. This was the Victim Path channel. See you next time.